Hey, way to make a fellow superhero feel inadequate. Glad it's not leg day.
You feel like trying out those new muscles of yours?
With Invincible Season 2 wrapped up, and now we're halfway through Season 3, everything is in place for one of the most brutal storylines in the series. And it's going to come up pretty soon by the end of the season. We spent 2 seasons building up Mark and making him stronger, and now this 3rd season, making him more experienced and testing his limits, and it's all been leading up to this moment, because he's coming. The one enemy Mark is not ready for, the one that Anissa teased at in Season 2, the enemy who won't just beat him up, he will break him. He's there to kill him. Conquest. This is the battle that will change everything, but before we get there, let's talk about how Season 3 is going to set up the stage for one of the bloodiest, most intense fights in the Invincibles history. So, the way Season 2 ended was personal. For the first time, Nolan shows regret, and he's been showing regret in Season 3 so far. He admits he's missed his wife, and he misses his wife. He regrets leaving, and he's finally showing that he's more than just a Viltrumite conqueror. He's a broken man, and he's depressed. And yet, he's still one of the most dangerous people in the universe. And we saw that with Alan and him comboing up that Viltrumite. But as much as Omni-Man's story is unfolding, Mark's about to hit a breaking point. Because Angstrom Levy is still alive. And he's been watching from the very start. Angstrom was never just about revenge. He wanted to ruin Mark's life. To take everything from him, to make him suffer. And now he's finally ready to do it. The Invincible War begins in Season 3. I'm going to say not this episode, but the next episode. The week after this. We are getting one of the most insane storylines from the comics. The Invincible War. This isn't just Mark versus a villain. This is dozens of Marks versus Earth. Angstrom has spent his time traveling through alternate dimensions, recruiting versions of Invincible from across the multiverse. Some of these Marks are ruthless, cruel, even more dangerous than Omni-Man himself. And together, they descend upon Earth in one of the most destructive wars the entire series. This isn't just a fight, it's an invasion. Cities will be wiped off the map. Heroes will be slaughtered in the streets. Heroes we know. Millions will die in the crossfire. The Guardians of the Globe are overwhelmed. Mark can barely stand a chance against one version of himself. How does he even fight an army of them? Even the most powerful heroes can barely hold the line. And in the middle of it all, Rexplode. We're getting into spoilers here, so if you don't want to hear this, click off. Rexplode makes it the ultimate sacrifice. I got spoiled this on TikTok. I actually haven't read the comics, but TikTok's kind of ruined everything for me, so I thought I'd save you the trouble there if you haven't. So, with no weapons, no way out, Rex charges his own skeleton as an explosive, sacrificing himself to take out an evil Invincible. Brutal. It's heartbreaking. It's the kind of battle that changes Mark forever. And yet, this is only the beginning, because Angstrom still isn't the only one watching. There's someone else who's been paying attention. Someone from a far point of view. Someone far, far worse. And now, it's his turn to arrive. So just at this point, when Mark is broken and just fought 12 versions of himself, his world is in the ruins. His friends are dead. Mark is broken. His body is barely holding together. And that's when Conquest arrives. Sent by the Viltrumite Empire, Conquest isn't just here to negotiate. He isn't here to persuade Mark to join them. He isn't here to waste time. He's here to beat Mark into submission. If Mark won't join the Viltrumites, then Conquest will make sure he dies and replace his position on Earth. And this is not like any fight Mark has had before. It's completely different. Conquest is not just strong, he's merciless. He enjoys fighting, pain, bloodshed. Every single punch he throws is meant to cripple, to break, to destroy. Mark is used to fighting powerful enemies, but this This is a beating. Conquest smashes Mark's face in the ground, rips his body apart, pummels him in until there's nothing left. This is by far one of those brutal fight scenes in the entire series, and I'm so excited to see it brought to action next week. And she throws everything she has at Conquest because Eve pulls up, and it only stops when Eve arrives. She throws everything she has at Conquest. She holds him in an energy field, tries to blast him into oblivion, but doesn't matter. No, Conquest is too strong, and then he makes the unthinkable happen. He impales Eve right through the stomach. Mark watches as the person he loves most bleeds out in his arms. This is when everything changes, because Eve is not dead. Eve has always been one of the most powerful characters in Invincible, but she's never reached her full potential until now. She lays on the brink of death. Her powers awaken in a way that have never been done before. She regenerates her body, she overloads with energy, and for the first time she taps into the full extent of her powers. She doesn't just fight Conquest, she tears him apart. This is Eve at her strongest. This is Eve going beyond her limits, and this is when Mark realizes he's not fighting alone anymore. Together, they can finally bring Conquest down, but not before one last horrifying revelation, because in the aftermath of the battle, Eve is pregnant. And suddenly, Mark isn't just fighting for survival anymore, he's fighting for his future. So let's recap really quick. The Invincible War is going to wipe out cities this season. Angstrom Levy is still going to get his revenge. Conquest arrives to destroy Mark. Eve awakens her true power. Mark is broken, and a war is coming. Eve is pregnant. And this is just all within the last 3 episodes of Invincible. We have all of this to look forward to. This is the turning point. After this, nothing will be the same. All of this starts with him because he's coming. And Mark isn't ready. This is how Mark is going to be pushed to his absolute limit. Season 3, the last 3 episodes are going to be so amazing. We went through a couple filler episodes, the last 2, but it's going to be worth it. We've seen Mark fight. We've never seen him lose this badly. And we've seen him lose badly before. The battle with Conquest is going to be one of the most brutal fights in animation history. And I can't wait to see how they bring this to life. Because everybody's been complaining about the animation so far in the season. And I think it's because they put all the money into this fight. If you're excited for Season 3, let me know in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe for more videos like this. This season is going to be a bloodbath. And I'll be here to break it all down. Until tomorrow, I'll see you guys again.
Is that all you got? I will never work for you again. We're done. Was a little serious?